the worst person that goes into a store looking for something in the United States, and I'm sure I did it here until I got in my head that was so rude, is, excuse me, just excuse me. You know, that while somebody's, a salesperson is helping someone, you know, that is so not acceptable. You know, the French are laser focused, I find, on one person, one purpose, one thing. Let me deal with this. You're doing this over here is not going to distract me because it's mano a mano here. You know, and I've seen that with children and reactions with their parents when they've been running around misbehaving or something, and the parent will get the child and put them in, and they'll get in the same space with them, you know, eye to eye, and whatever that conversation is between the parent and the child, because of that mano a mano thing, you know, the child just cools it. I mean, it's just amazing to me.
Yeah, and to go back to
and that's so not American. Mm-hmm. You know, we're such in a big hurry. You know, we want somebody's attention now.
And we don't want to get engaged in things because we're busily moving towards something that
exactly.
is important.
Exactly.
Right? But this whole idea of the eye contact and being in relationship with people, it extends throughout the entire culture. Right. So when you go into a shop, you don't wait to acknowledge someone who works there, especially the shopkeeper, until you need them. The first thing you do is you make eye contact and you...
But you got to say bonjour first.
You have to say hello, and when you're leaving, you have to make eye contact and say goodbye. Exactly. And that's the polite way to do it, because they have made themselves available to serve you, and they're providing a service, and you're coming in to potentially use that service, and so you acknowledge that. And, you know, everyone's there as humans. One of the things I really like about French culture is that it's not the way it's hierarchical is very different, and the socialist piece of the French system, where everybody is necessary to make a full society run. I mean, this is the way their education system is designed. It's the way the job systems are designed. But the country needs everybody.
Right.
It can't. The full flowering of French culture can't happen without the artisan, without the marchand, without the farmers, without everybody. Right. So, for this beauty of French culture to happen, everybody is important.
Yes, and respectful.
And very respectful.
Yeah.
And I find that to be, it's a beautiful energy to exist in.
Such a beautiful thing.
And we also, as consumers, or sometimes contributors, but mostly consumers, are also an important part of that. Yeah. So all of this is respect being equally shared.
And I want to emphasize that too, for, you know, if I'm going to help folks think about moving to France, it's so important to be respectful. Mm-hmm. I just feel that it's not our country, you know, it's not our traditions, we're not familiar with it, and to try to impose our ways and our needs and sometimes rudeness, on others, is something that I hope that we think a lot about before we make a move. Mm-hmm. That if you're impatient, if you're short-tempered, if you get angry easily, if you yell at people, if you do garçon, don't do that. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just not the French way. Right. And unless, you know, and I think that makes people have a happier life here or not, is what they understand on the way in.
You know, there's people laugh how in smaller towns especially, like, you would never even take the trash out unless you were in, like,
really?
Beautifully robed,
I haven't
full
heard
makeup,
that.
because you know you're going to go out and you're going to see somebody.
Okay, well, right? No wonder I'm hiding.
There's no hiding
in
you know, the smaller communities, and I think that really extends to the energy, our kind of energetic field as well. Like, it's been a very big lesson for me. When I'm distracted, if I'm in a bad mood, if for whatever reason I'm not in the mood to engage with people, then I've had to learn to more ways to deal with that rather than just brushing people off and going on my merry way, because it hurts feelings. People take things quite personally here, and it also marks you as somebody who is not culturally attuned.
Yeah.
And now if I feel that for whatever reason I'm not ready to just engage on a social level with people that I'm coming across in the course of my errands, I either don't go,
Right.
or I've learned a few sentences that I can say to somebody when I see them, but I always stop and acknowledge them and say, I'm very happy to see you. I'm so sorry I'm running late and I'm in a terrible mood, but I look forward to seeing you at the market on Wednesday, right? But also never to let those moments pass where people think that they're being brushed off, because that is, it's not acceptable. I remember when one of my early days here, I was in line at the butcher shop, and it was a remarkable number of people in line at the bookshop.
Yeah.
Like, we were stretching the whole length of the butcher shop and out the door. And I was really struck. There was 2 people working, one packaging things and the other one doing the register and taking the orders. And they were spending an equal amount of time with each person in line, no matter how large or small the purchase. And in most cases, they were regular customers, so there was the niceties of small conversation, checking in on family and things like that. And what was remarkable to me is that nobody in line felt stressed or were giving dagger eyes.
There's nothing about, you don't break in line. There's never ever break in line. I see that you did at the butcher. I see that a lot at the boulangerie, that they go in and our impulse, mine, I won't speak for myself, is to go and peruse what's there and expect that somebody's back there and they're going to hand you something. Well, no, not necessarily, especially if there's a lot of people in there. There's a queue. There's a queue. I mean, and if you want to talk about something that's important to French people, it's a queue.
Right.
They queue everywhere, and they respect people in a queue. And when you come in from cars, you're queuing in and you're weaving nicely to each other. It's the process, it's the pattern. You go right, people have the permission to go first, but it's just so organized and so respectful of everybody.
And because people build relationships, and often for a lot of people who live alone, these are their important social, exchanges for the day.
Yeah.
And what I like about the experience of being in a line here is that just because you're in a hurry doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't have the right to have the full experience that they came to have.
Exactly.
Right. So you wait patiently and you don't get frustrated, and I love the peacefulness of that. And it gave me a new appreciation of French culture, because I see that over and over.
Right.
Now, it doesn't always happen. There are certainly cities in which people have different priorities, and it's much more fast-paced, and we won't even go into the driving habits and things like that.
But that's a whole.
But in general,
subject.
It's a very beautiful environment in which to be a participant, knowing that you will be respected in the way, and that you're expected to respect people in the way that you would want to be treated. Also,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, vive la France.
Yeah.
Vive la French people and their customs.